We are back with another Tuesday Talks. This might get published on Wednesday, but doesn't matter because you can watch it anytime you want. But I usually try to film them on Monday and then have my daughter publish them on Tuesday, but I'm a little behind. So anyways, whatever day it is, I'm glad you're here because today we're going to talk about one of the biggest things I hear still. This is still going on. I feel like this has been going on for years, this myth about does muscle make you bulky? So I hear from women so many times, like I tell them, you need to start lifting weights, you need to gain muscle. And one of the first things I still hear all the time is, I don't want to get bulky. So let's just go through and debunk this myth a little bit. Okay. So first of all, and I've put a lot of stuff on my Instagram account about this, but let's talk about this. If you could actually see a pound of fat compared to a pound of muscle, you would see that even though they both weigh a pound of fat is like big and bulky and takes up a lot of volume, where muscle is actually very lean. So a pound of fat looks almost like a flank steak. It's just very lean, okay? So the thing that makes you look bulky is not muscle. Muscle lays flat along your body and is very, very lean, whereas the fat is the thing that makes it bulky. Now, a lot of times the fat is resting on top of the muscle. So yes, by adding muscle and continuing to add fat, both, you're going to get bulky, but it's not from the muscle. It's from the added fat on top of that. So I like to make analogies sometimes for people because this is another realm of it. If you actually understood, like, I know in your mind you're thinking, yeah, but I've seen those big, huge men and I've seen, that are huge, or I've seen those women that look all, buffed out and big and muscular. So it just kind of shows, like, do you know how much time and effort and really specific pinpointing your nutrition and your workout routine and years of doing that in order to look like that? So I equate it to if someone said, I don't want to start cooking meals because if I start cooking meals, I'm afraid I'm going to become a professional chef. Just because they're cooking meals, which we all know is ridiculous. To be a chef, you would have to train for years and go to school and work on it for hours and know the ins and outs of it, okay? Or it's I don't want to, start driving my car because I might turn into a race car driver. And of course, we all know that's also ridiculous. So just think about when you're saying I don't want to lift weights, I don't want to get bulky because you have this person in your mind. That person, in order to look that much and gain that much muscle, they have been doing this for years and years and years on end, and they are specifically lifting very, very heavy for very specific goals while having their nutrition support that. So you're not going to get there. And you could, if you want to, you could, but it will take years. So just think about that. Now, let's go into for a second, why? Why do you want muscle? And hopefully you've been kind of seeing this because I know that mainstream, Instagram and media and stuff is coming out with actually now understanding how important muscle really is and trying to encourage that in women. So let's actually talk about a couple of reasons of, why is everybody pitching this so much? As a fat loss coach and as a nutrition coach, why do you push gaining muscle so much, or lifting weights, I guess I should say. So there are so many reasons. I could go on and on, but I try to keep my Tuesday Talks a little shorter for people so that hopefully they can listen to it with their busy lives. So let me just touch on a couple of them. So first of all, there of course is the fact that there's all this research showing that the more muscle you have on your body, the more longevity you have. So it's just proven. But here's the thing, it's not just longevity, it's a quality of life. Because it's one thing to grow old and to live longer, but to not have any quality of life, meaning you don't have any muscle, your bones are super brittle, which means you have a hard time standing up, you have a hard time sitting down, you're scared of falling because you don't have a lot of muscle, and then you're scared of when you fall, are you going to break a hip? Are you going to have surgery? All this stuff as you get older. So it's so important to think about, like, not only does muscle give you longevity, but it gives you this amazing quality of life. Your body is strong. You're able to move yourself around. You don't need a walker. You don't need help getting up and down out of a chair. Like, I see so many people, honestly, I've seen so many people in their 70s, which is not even that old, and they can't get up and down out of a chair because they just never took the time to build muscle. And then, of course, like I was saying, it makes me so nervous. Okay, now you've lost a ton of balance and stability also because you don't have muscle. Now you've also lost bone density. So that's one of the reasons, let's go into that really quick, is when you're doing resistance training, you're actually strengthening your bones. So you could probably go in and do like a bone density test, and then you could go lift weights and do a good program for a year and go back in and do another bone density test, and it would show that it's improved. How cool is that? Okay, so now if you did happen to fall for any reason, now the likelihood of you breaking bones, having to have things replaced, all this stuff, just crazy diminishes because you've been lifting weights. All of that comes from that. Okay, here's another thing. If I went up to somebody and said, do you want to burn calories while you are resting, sleeping, watching TV? Do you want to burn extra calories? Okay, who would say no? If you're somebody that would say no, please reach out to me and tell me, because I can't believe that there would be somebody, a woman out there, that would say, no, I don't really want to burn extra calories while I'm sleeping and sitting there. I'd rather not. I'd rather burn the least amount of calories so that I can eat less and less and gain more and more weight. Honestly, okay. So that's what muscle does. It's very expensive for our body to keep around. Like, think about your air conditioning, right? We all know it's expensive to keep around. It's nice. It's very nice, especially right now when we're having like 90-degree days here, but it's expensive, right? So it's the same thing with muscle in your body, but better, because air conditioning costs you money. Muscle costs you calories and energy. So for your body to keep that muscle there that you've now put on it, your body's like, oh, I gotta rev. I got to rev up to keep this stuff around, right? Whereas it doesn't need to do that for fat. It doesn't have to burn like that. So everything slows down when you don't have muscle. Your metabolism, your ability to burn calories, all of that slows down. Now, if you're putting muscle on your body and gaining muscle, your metabolism is going up because it has to burn to keep that muscle around. It's requiring more energy. So now you're doing things, when you're doing things like sitting around, sleeping, all this stuff, you're just naturally burning more calories. So it's so much healthier to do it this way, to gain muscle, to rev your metabolism up, to be able to increase your calories, to eat more and have your whole system working better, than it is to just chase that as skinny as I can. I want to eat as little as I can. I want to be as little as I can be. I want the number on the scale to be as low as humanly possible. And I just want everything less. I want to eat as little as possible, like everything less. It's not healthy, especially if you're going through perimenopause. That's going to put so much stress on your body. And then you just get stuck in this cycle of like, eat less and less and less and less and less. And your body's slowing down, your metabolism's slowing down, and you can't lose weight even though you keep eating less and less and less and less. And then you go screw it and you go eat because you're so tired of eating 1,200 calories a day, and you go out and eat, and then you start gaining weight again. It's this terrible cycle. And so much of that, honestly, is rooted in the fact that you're not getting your metabolism and your body to a safe place. So metabolism would be whole nother thing if we got into that. I should do that for another topic someday. But really what I want to focus on is the muscle and the fact that that is going to help with all of those things, to burn calories, to just give you longevity for your life. And then there's also this great new research that's coming out too, that is showing the effects that it has on your mind and what weightlifting and strength training is doing for your brain, which is incredible. So they just keep delving in and they just keep finding more and more reasons why we need to be doing this. So no, it will not make you bulky. If you wanted to get bulky while lifting weights, then you better go find like a coach that trains for bikini competitions, and you're training, 7 days a week, eating perfect food all the time and just gaining muscle like, one of those bodybuilder people. Like, that's not going to happen. The programming that I do myself, the programming that I make for my clients, it's giving you muscle, it's giving you that strength, but it's keeping you nice and lean. And then when you pair that with the right nutrition, which is going to allow you to lose body fat, that's where we get what's called body recomposition, which means the scale might not move much, but you can actually look completely different with the addition of muscle and the subtraction of fat. And then it all evens out. It's incredible. I think I talked about this on my last one. I feel like I might be coming back to the same thing over and over again. But you guys, that's the thing. Like, all these basics stay the same. It all comes back to the same ideas, and they're all related to each other. So when you're making all of these things come together like this, it really helps. It really does. It completely changed my body doing this. So it's, if you need proof, I'm proof. I did it, and it just completely changed. So hopefully that was helpful. I hope that I took that myth out of your brain, is what I hope, that for once and for all, we have squelched that myth, and that that stop entertaining that thought. If you don't want to lift weights for another reason, for some reason or another, that's great, but at least don't believe it's because you think it's going to make you bulky. Take that excuse out. That can't be your excuse anymore. You can come up with different excuses, but that one can't be your excuse anymore. So anyways, I'm here for questions as always. If you just want to chat, if you want to try my weightlifting program and my app, you're more than welcome to come do that for free. I'll set up a little trial for you, anything you want. So I appreciate you guys being here and listening. If there's any topics you ever want me to go over, please leave those in the comments, and I'll do it for you. So hope you have a great day.